Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Tea, and I'm T. Good morning, good morning. Hey, is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. It's Friday Junior. Hey, Fame. Hey, Tina. Hey, Monroe. Hey, Coffee Talk Jazz Radio. Hey, Mima. Hey, Deidre. Hey, Gardening 23. Good morning. Good morning. On Instagram, I don't know if you can share this. I'm not sure, but if you can, share it. Or invite a friend or however you do it over there. It's been way too long. Hey, PY. Good morning. Good morning. Share on Facebook. Share, share, share. I know it's you, Bridget. I know that's you. Hey, beautiful Jules. Good morning. Hey, Jamila. Hey, Robin. Good morning. How are y'all on a scale of 1 to 10? I am a 10. I'm really above a 10, but Bridget, you be tripping. I miss you too, Tina. I've been back on since April 1st. I've been back on for a minute. Good morning. How are y'all? I missed you too. We got to do another interview. So many other things have happened in my life. Evolved. As we keep growing, we keep evolving, we keep changing, new things keep happening, good things keep happening. I'm so excited about a mastermind I'm about to do with my girls. It's gonna be good. I can't really tell y'all about it because it's private, but it's gonna be good. We really gonna bring our strengths into it, and we sharing. And then I was thinking last night, we are sharing our 3 strengths and our 3 challenges, not our weaknesses, because we don't have weaknesses, but we're going to share our 3 strengths and our 3 challenges so that we can help each other. I'm a 10 plus. Good. I'm a 10. Good. So let's talk about don't lose yourself in a relationship. This is very important. This is so important, right? Because as we go on in our relationships, we start to forget our individuality, which made the relationship what it was. So the relationship starts to suffer. Hey, Alana. So this is why I wanted to talk about this. Because it's not easy to not lose who you are in a relationship if you're not aware of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not aware that you're changing, you'll begin to change into someone who will make your relationship average, mundane, mediocre, the same thing over and over again. But when you first got into the relationship, you were yourself, your whole self, who you are in its entirety. Because when you're by yourself, you learn things about yourself and you are an individual. So you do different things. So during this journey of being in a relationship, you have to ask yourself questions. Like, you really have to be mindful, or the relationship will go south and you'll be so busy blaming the other person. And I'm so big on self-accountability. You'll be so busy blaming the other person that you won't know that you're contributing to the problem. So you have to look at yourself and say, am I still doing the things I used to do before I got with this man or this woman? Am I still doing the things I used to do, right? Because we do stuff when we're by ourselves. We go to sip and paint. We hang out with the girls. We go shopping. We pick up new hobbies. We join things. We do masterminds. We read books. But in the process of being in a relationship, we stop doing the things that we used to do. And we're not mindful of it because we're not looking in the mirror every day and saying, did I read a book? We're not looking in the mirror every day saying, when was the last time I went out with the girls? We're in a relationship and we're trying to maintain that relationship and make that relationship productive. But we don't want to lose ourselves and that being the only component of our life. Because, ladies, I'm going to tell y'all this. That'll drive a man crazy. Because he is forever, right? And this is the difference between late gentlemen and women. He's going to continuously show you who he is, right? Most of the time, the men don't change much. They're supposed to change and grow businesses and have more money in the bank and, keep their self up. But most of the time, they remain who they are in a relationship. We start to change because we start to lose sight of who we are and becoming what it is that we think that man wants us to be, if that makes sense to y'all. So you have to ask yourself, am I still doing the things I used to do? Have I become clingy? Because a lot of times, it's a lot of us who are not clingy women. We are not clingy. No, we ain't clingy. But when we get in the right relationship and we get to a level of being comfortable, We can appear clingy because we want to be around that person all the time. But that person is used to us being out there, being an individual, enjoying life, doing this, doing that. So when we start to be clingy, it can be a little unattractive. I'm just trying to save some relationships here. Too, men too. Have you become clingy or needy? Right, that's on my paper. Clingy, needy, dependent on that person to breathe, for air, for life. Men get like that too. They don't want you to go nowhere. All of a sudden, they don't want you hanging out. They don't want you where you going, what you doing, because then they start to become insecure in themselves because they got the prize now, and they haven't necessarily been doing what they're supposed to do all the time either. So they may become clingy. So I want the men and the women to ask themselves these questions. Am I still doing the things that I used to do? When was the last time I saw my friends? When was the last time I picked up a new hobby? When was the last time I read a book? Let me be mindful of what I'm doing. Am I just so engrossed in this relationship that I'm not being productive in my life? You should see some fruit. You should not be at a standstill. And this is note to self, because I'm in a relationship and I have to self-check myself sometimes. Right? Because you got to look in the mirror and say, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me do a self-evaluation. Like this is not that your relationship is a job, but you have to maintain it. Let me do a self-evaluation, right? Am I doing the same things I used to do? Has my attitude changed? Has my attitude changed toward the person? Because when you first in a relationship, it ain't much that bother you, right? Because you in the honeymoon phase and all of that. Please, let's not never get out the honeymoon phase. And I know everybody say, well, things go on. Please, have I gotten out of the honeymoon phase? Has my attitude changed? Because now that I have the person, I don't have to be mindful of the way that I react to this person because I'm in a relationship with them, so I'm comfortable. No, that's going to kill your relationship. Has your attitude changed? Has the things that you said you would do for this person or the things that you've been doing for this person, are you still doing those things, or have you gotten comfortable? I'm telling you, don't lose who you are in a relationship. Were you a giver and now you're a taker? Because it's easy to slip over to the other side. It really is. Has your attitude changed? Are you tit for tatting? I'm not a tit for tat person. And I'm mindful of this now because I used to be, because I didn't know I was a tit for tat person, right? And I'm explaining this to you. Husbands, wives, girlfriends, fiancés. Listen, I'm mindful because sometimes people have a bad day at work, right? They come home, they disheveled, everything at work went wrong. You don't know this. So they come in with an attitude. So tit for tat, you give them an attitude. Because if you're not mindful, you thinking, why are you mad at me? I didn't do anything. What's the problem? So you start to tit for tat. Then in your mind's, I ain't cooking nothing. Are you tit for tatting and you don't even realize it? Because you need to keep your mind clear on how you're supposed to be the same. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. If you cook every night, then you cook every night. If you're doing this, if that's what you do, that's what you do. Has the person's attitude now started changing you to where you're tit for tatting? Because you've lost yourself in a relationship. If you haven't lost yourself, you don't tit for tat. You look at a person when they come in and they have an attitude and you say, hey, hello, what's up? And if they have an attitude, you keep it moving and you cook dinner, or you say, hey, I was planning on, want to know if you wanted to go to the movies. Are you hungry? You keep doing what you're doing. But when we get into relationships, we lose ourselves in a relationship and we start to be a reflection of the other person. And we should be a reflection of their good qualities. But when we see qualities that are not so good, or attitudes or behaviors that are not so good, if we are mindful in who we are, to say, I'm not going to let anybody's poor behavior make me act poorly. But you have to be mindful because it's easy. It's easy to slip because we're human. I used to do that when we first got married, so very young. Right. It's easy because we're human. And our mind tells us to react immediately based on the way a person is acting, instead of saying, it's not about you. You don't know what happened at work. Have you picked up the person's poor habits? Because you happy-go-lucky and they grumpy. Have you picked up their grumpy behavior? Because you're losing yourself in the relationship. You know how people say, y'all been together so long, y'all look alike. Don't forget, y'all been together so long, y'all act alike. Make sure you're picking up the good qualities of each other and not the poor behavior, because you have to be mindful of who you are. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? So I want you to do that. Remaining who you are in a relationship is crucial to having a healthy relationship. Remaining who you are in a relationship is crucial to that relationship sustaining, maintaining, and remaining. Good morning, Keith. Remaining who you are in a relationship from the beginning, because life's gonna happen. So let's do self-evaluations every 3 to 6 months about how am I acting in this relationship, because the older it gets, the more familiar it gets. What do they say? Familiarity breeds disrespect. That's a true statement if I ever heard one. The more familiar we become with a person, the more comfortable we become with them, the easier it is to disrespect them. This is so good teaching. Thank you, Bridget. The easier it is to disrespect them. So we have to remain who we are, an individual. I'm an individual. And I check myself, and this, sometimes I have self-talks. I have to, not that I'm talking to myself, but I have self-talks to say, where are you at? Locate yourself in life right now. Where are you? Are you losing yourself in work? Are you so engrossed that there's things going on in the family that you don't know about? Because work is a relationship. So we could take this to another level of, have you lost yourself in your work relationship with your job, being an entrepreneur? Have you forgot about the children? You know what I'm saying? Have you forgot about your mate? We got to be real self-aware. We got to be present. And I read this thing, I think it was yesterday. It said, if you're angry, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be mindful to locate ourselves. Where are you? If you're anxious about something, you're worried about something that's going to happen that you don't have control over. You living too far. If you're anxious right now, I want you to snatch yourself back right now and live in the moment. I'm here with Trey on Coffee with Tea. That's all I got right now. If you are anxious about something right now, I want you to just snatch yourself back for this few minutes. This is very profound to my life. I'm happy, Jackie. I hope this is helpful. I want you to snatch yourself back right now. If you are anxious, any time during this day today, this is just a little exercise, or tomorrow or next week, anytime you're anxious, I want you to tell yourself, I want you to snatch yourself back and say, I'm right here at work at my computer and I'm doing this proposal. This is what I have control over at this moment. Let me just stop right here. Let me live in this moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. And let me stop thinking about that thing that's making me anxious, because I'm living in the future and I don't have a crystal ball. And it's robbing me of my peace. When you live in the moment, it's so good, but it is really, really growth that helps you live in the moment. Because most of us are living in the past. We thinking about something that happened yesterday. Why he do that, or why she do that, or why they do that, or what happened and I can't, and they would, or we're living in the future. What's going to happen next week? How am I going to pay this bill? What if the kids don't? If he don't, if she don't, what if we don't? What happens? And we don't even enjoy the moment that we're in, that we're alive, and that we have coffee. Or if we're on a treadmill, that I can walk, that my legs work. Or if we're eating breakfast, I have food in the refrigerator. I'm thankful. We're so busy dwelling on the past or being anxious about the future, we can't enjoy the here and now. My niece taught me that, live in the moment. She's 34. She's a yogi. And and that always, I said, when the student becomes the teacher, that always comes in my head when I'm beginning to be anxious about something, or I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm like, all right, locate yourself, because you're doing too much right now, because you're doing way too much. That's important. I mean, thank you, John. So that's my message for you today. I need you to live in the moment, and I need you to make sure you remain an individual in every relationship that you are. are in. If you're in a relationship, a marriage, an engagement, you have a boyfriend, a boo, a bae, a boy, whatever it is, I want you to remain an individual in that relationship, because if you don't, the relationship is going to suffer and it's going to fail. And it's not only on that person, because we're so busy pointing the finger at somebody else, we tend to not look in the mirror at ourselves. And I'm speaking note to self, because I have to tell myself these things, because just because I'm a life coach and a relationship coach don't mean I don't have struggles in my relationship where I have to sit and tell, because I'm busy pouring into other people. And that's why sometimes I got to locate myself. Like, Trey, you busy helping these couples and that person. What's going on under your roof? Stop. Wait a minute. Let's check the temperature in your home. Let's check what's going on with you and your boo. Let's check what's going on with you and the kids. Let's stop for a minute. Let's breathe. Let's get in the moment. Because right now you moving forward talking about this person. I got this client tomorrow, that client tomorrow. This got to be done. I got to send this article. I got to pull this out. And you're anxious, and you're missing the moment that your man is home, or you're missing the moment that the baby has learned something at school. So be careful of how you're moving. You packed a lot into this message, so much to think about. Thank you so much. So again, remain who you are in your relationship is crucial. Have I become clingy and dependent? Because it might feel like you're becoming, I'm loving. I always want to be around him or her. I always want to be around him or her. And you spend some more time with me. That's not who you were at the beginning of the relationship.